Hi everyone, welcome to a new year on Polyglots of the Week. It's Monday, and I am Eddie, and are you ready to start 2014? I hope you are, because I am, more or less. Um, I apologize for the whole taking a week off thing. We all decided to take a week off because it was a break, it was the new year, and this video is going up late today because you can't see all of it behind me, but I'm in the process of moving. So everything's a mess. But so today, since it is a new year and it's 2014, and we all enjoy discussing our New Year's resolutions, I thought it would be a good idea for the topic for the week for most of us to discuss. But you don't have to if you don't want. To talk about goal setting and how to, I guess in a way, take your language learning more seriously in a coming year because we always try to restart and renew in a new year. So how do we do that within the context of learning a language? So what I'd like to do is sort of talk about just some goal setting things for a minute, and then also set some goals for myself for the coming year. So when you're setting goals for language learning, I mean, your options are quite broad. You could learn a new language. You could work to get yourself to a new level in a new language. You could try to pick up an old language, which is something I'm considering doing for this year. Um, there are a lot of options that you have. Now, I think one of the really important things to consider when setting goals for language learning for a new year is, in all honesty, it's important to be realistic. I have a huge stack of books in front of me. I have boxes of books behind me, and I have boxes of books in my attic. And the majority of them are all language books. And I mean, if I wanted to, I could set a goal that says, I want to learn 6 new languages and I want to pick up this one and this one and this one. And honestly, that's just not realistic. I think that the key to goal setting and to being successful in keeping your goals is to give yourself something realistic. Also, short-term goals are really important. Saying I want to have this done by the end of the month, or I want to have this done in 3 months, or something by the end of the year. So what I've done is I have sort of organized the goals I have for myself into essentially kind of a timeline sectioned off into, well, sections. So my first sort of check-in, I guess, is the end of this month. By the end of this month, I need to finish all 20 lessons in my Syriac book. I also need to go back over and review a lot of the things I learned in classical Armenian in the fall, so I don't, jump in next term and still feel like I'm struggling. I also, by the end of this month, I would like to sit down and read through at least one of the 2 Middle Persian grammars that I have. So my next section is the end of the coming term. So by, the end of May, or essentially by the beginning of May, I want to have a strong foundation in modern Armenian for myself. I also want to have a strong foundation in Ossetian. Georgian, I'd like to have a similar level, not as high, mostly just phrases and basics, so I can sort of survive in Tbilisi while I'm there. And by the end of the term, so essentially by the end of the whole year, I'd like to be really comfortable in my level of reading in classical Armenian. Obviously, my goal for the summer is just to learn as much as I can while I'm in Armenia and Ossetia and Georgia and things. By the start of fall term, though, one quantifiable thing I'd like to have is I'd like to have a decently strong foundation in Russian. My last set of goals, or my next to last set of goals, is goals I have sort of by the end of the year, and they're a bit more general. I'd like to be able to confidently say I'm at an intermediate level in my Pashto. I'd like to say the same about my level in Ossetian. I'd like to say that I'm at least, intermediate. I'd like to say that I'm at a similar level in Turkish. Turkish isn't as much of a priority for me, but at the same time, Turkish is something I have a lot of resources to. I have Turkish friends, I have Turkish speaking friends, I have plenty of Turkish textbooks. My other goal is to really improve my German reading. And another just general thing is that I'd like to, I think, take my work a bit more seriously. I do, but I always sort of tell myself, you're doing this because you enjoy it. So the moment it becomes hard and I stop enjoying it, I kind of walk away from it. Not that I'm not doing it, but it's like I'll take a break when really I need to just force myself to push through it. And I think that's something that, in general, for language learning, a lot of us maybe need to do, is that sometimes when it gets hard, we like to walk away and complain. Um, but it's those hard moments that really teach us the most. Yesterday I wrote an entire email in Russian, and it was wrong, and I had somebody edit it, and there were a lot of changes. But that exercise of pushing myself through that, as hard as it was, to the point where I literally just had a headache and I had to lie down, um, I learned a lot out of it. And so I think I'd like to make that a goal for myself personally this year, is in my studies to sort of push myself a bit further beyond my comfort level into doing things that are not only necessary but are also just the most beneficial for me in the long run. All right, so that's pretty much all I have to say about goal setting. Um, those are my goals. You guys can try to keep me to them. I have been doing some work on the winter break challenge. I'm sorry, it was the holidays and then I moved, so I got a little bit caught up in doing other things, but I'm catching back up on it now, and I'll probably write a post about it soon for those who are interested. So I look forward to seeing what the rest of the polyglots have for their goals, as well as for how they think we can best make goals or best achieve our goals in language learning for the coming year. So everybody have a great day, and I will see you next week. Ciao.